Hey guys, have you guys ever seen a story that was just completely captivating or it left you with lingering feelings that you just cannot shake? Well, that is the magic of good storytelling. And today, I'm going to be sharing with creators like yourself um, how it happens, how does it work, and where it all comes from when the process starts, how it begins. Okay, let's begin. I have my notes up. So yes, storytelling is universal. It's how we connect, it's how we teach, and it's how we inspire. So the best stories, they really grab your attention, like at the very first couple lines. So that's like a good sign of like great storytelling. So just keep that in mind. Like, what is your hook? What are going to be the first 3 to 4 lines that are just going to captivate us, telling us about everything you want to talk about in your whole story, but like in snapshot in 3 lines. So now we're gonna talk about like how the content supposed like how do your content stand out, and I'm gonna talk about 3 sections of like how to do that. We're gonna talk about the personal experience, the audience centric approach, and we're gonna talk about the unique perspective, um, and we're gonna also talk about one more thing. Oh yeah, engaging impact. Okay, so basically, um, how I do it is essentially my stories are rooted in my own experience, whether it's my journey, challenges that I've overcome, or my passions. I make sure that my audience uh, feel like they're involved in my experience through these moments with me, sharing vulnerable ads, um, which brings a sense of authenticity, which I try to be as authentic as I possibly can, as um, as much as I'm comfortable with. Um, and so, yeah, I always thinking about the experience of my audience, but I do think about myself too. You know, I keep parts of myself for myself, and I think that you guys should do that too. So be cognizant of the things that you share, because you know you live with those things that you share. Um, Next thing is for me, I do think about what others care about. I think about my audience and their struggles, how I could be a provider. Um, in the solution kind of space for my audience. I use stories to bridge those gaps between their worlds and my worlds. And it's a beautiful uh, frame for how things collide. So um, I try to go for that approach. I think someone's calling me. Stop calling me. I think so. What makes my storytelling unique is it's coming through my lens, which I view the world, and you know, and basically it's because you know what, for me, it's not about product. It's not about like what we are selling or what we are putting out there. It's about the story that we all care about behind the product. Why does it matter? And I think that like when we put the narrative behind what people care about, behind like all the things that like make life, I think we find true value in what we do as creators. Okay. And so engaging format, yes. So I also experience I also experienced that experimenting with different formats is important, and it's such a valuable asset to your your overall like vision as a creative, because uh, it pushes your audience to want to stay connected with you, because you know what, you want them to like need to see what's happening with your story. So um, it's always a good idea to use animation, music, and dynamics editing to make the content exciting, right? So keep people engaged. You want to keep them on their toes. So what is my formula? So what's my personal formula? My personal formula is, like I was saying before, I always do my hook. The hooks are very important. I think that like without a good hook, you're just basically shooting in the dark. You have to like create a conflict. Now I don't like conflict because I do think that like conflicts are kind of just problematic. It's the whole fight of it all. So you want to acknowledge conflict. You don't want to create conflict. You want to acknowledge conflicts. Does that make sense, guys? I'll say it again. Don't create conflict. Acknowledge conflicts. It puts you in a much greater space as a content creator, but it also it helps you keep your side of the street clean. um, yeah, that's a big one, guys. Okay, so yes, start with the hook, create conflict, and then no, yeah, so offer a solution, guys. We are telling stories, and a lot of times the stories are not fun stories. They are not going to be all warm all the time. And now I also love it when we can flip it and do really, really great stories, um, and then offer solutions on how others can like take on this great story that we're pushing. But if the story isn't so great and it's like a sad story, or it's the story with all these emotions and stuff like that, what your job is now is to tell the story and then offer great solutions, so that there is like there is this impact, but then it's has had its climax, and then now we've full circled it with solutions. Does that make sense? It just makes it easy to swallow. Okay. Um. So why the story matters. So then the conclusion, guys. I also just want to say that now, since I have shared with you guys what it takes to create great stories and how to pull the readers in into what you're trying to deliver, now it's your turn. Go out there and tell your stories. Be creative, but don't forget to subscribe and like. And yeah, see you next time. I hope this helps.